Come along and ride this train. Come along and ride this train. Across the mountains, prairies, reservations, rivers, levees, plains. Come along and ride this train. Ride this train. Ride this train with me to Yuma, Arizona. You see that river over there? That's the Colorado. She's wild and restless, bucking, trying to get out of her banks. I got my first taste of its temper when I decided to set out in a small outboard boat and do some fishing on it. Well, I cut up the Colorado River with that motor wide open and looked over at the bank, and I hadn't moved an inch. So I headed toward the bank on the other side and finally reached it about 2 miles downstream. This song came out of that little trip. Oh, you wild, raging river, like my woman's lips, you lure me, Pied Piper of the desert. Roll on to the sea, you're the same at noon or midnight, and I'd follow where you go, but you're planning no returning, you wild Colorado. If I had no love of life, I'd become part of your flow, but you're planning no returning, you wild Colorado. Sometimes the river is like a woman, and it's bound to change its mind if it's like a woman. Long ago, the Tennessee River cut out of the northeast, but it got down about Chattanooga, it changed its mind. It cut right back through the hilliest country it could find, moved on up northward into, hit the Ohio River and on into the Mississippi, and then made its way into the sea, like some women might do, way in a roundabout way, do a few things, you know. Well, the Cherokee and the Chickamauga and the Nickajack Indians used to set up on the bluffs of the river down there where it curved back, you know, where it changed its mind, and rained boulders down on the settlers that tried to navigate the river. There was suck holes and whirlpools in the river there, and they called the place the Whirl and the Suck. And if the engines didn't get them as they tried to go on down the river, then the suck holes and the whirlpools did. It took a mighty good man with salty hands on a mighty long raft to keep the fore before the aft. You take 10 good men and guts and luck, and you might navigate the whirl and the suck. Well, the Tennessee River changed its mind. At Chattanooga, she ought to unwind. She could have run right on to the Georgia Sea, but she cut right back through Tennessee. Well, the settlers came by raft and boat, bringing everything that'd stay afloat. But like a loco horse that'll twist and buck, they hardly ever made it through the whirl and the suck. It took a mighty good man with salty hands on a mighty long raft to keep the fore before the aft. You take 10 good men and guts and luck, and you might navigate the whirl and the suck. When General Washington was in his knicker box, the Cherokee Indians ruled the Chattanooga rocks, and the Chickamauga tribe and the Nickajack, they kept a watch where the river cut back. And if a raft or a boat ever rode the bend, the Indians got 'em 'cause they had 'em hemmed in. It took a mighty good man with salty hands on a mighty long raft to keep the fore before the aft. You take 10 good men and guts and luck, and you might navigate the whirl and the suck. sometimes the river slows down, and sometimes the river slows down and just ambles along like a proud woman out for a morning stroll. And with the sunlight a-shining like diamonds on her face, man, you bound to get the urge to chase a woman like that, maybe to the ends of the earth. Now won't you bat it down by Baton Rouge, River Queen, roll it on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Go on, I've had enough, dump my blues down in the Gulf. She loves you, Big River, more than me. Now I taught the weeping willow how to cry, cry, cry. And I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. And the tears I cried for that woman are gonna flood you, Big River. And I'm gonna sit right here until I die.